Okay, so in the previous video that I just did, the last thing I did in my previous video was I graphed by hand the function 3x squared minus 7x plus 6y squared plus 10y plus 5 equals 0, and I came up with something in the fourth quadrant that didn't touch any of the axes. And here I just want to show you, for people who are really following along at home, this is a professionally done graph, and it shows that I was more or less accurate. Okay, but I got much bigger fish to fry in this video. So what I want to do is I want to come back to the definition of ellipse. Let's close that for a second. Okay, now okay, so now this is my advanced ellipses. So hang on. Okay, so let's start with this idea of, let's go pretty simple, x squared divided by 4 plus y squared divided by 25 equals 1. So that has a center. Let's change it around. That's going to fit better on the screen. Okay, now suppose I want to rotate that. Well, I talk about that in a big long video that I do on rotating parabolas. But basically, the formula that you're really going to be looking for is the transpose of the rotation matrix. And this gets really, really complicated, but you can go online and sort of learn more about rotation matrices. But basically what I want to do is, everywhere that I've got an x, I want to replace it with an x cosine theta plus y sine theta. And every place I've got a y, I want to replace it with negative x sine theta plus y cosine theta, where theta is how far I want to rotate by. So let's rotate this counterclockwise 30 degrees. So rotate counterclockwise by 30 degrees, but now my calculator is going to want to say that is pi over 6 radians. Okay, so what I do is I go down here, and everywhere where I've got an x, I replace it with x cosine theta plus y sine theta. So I do x cosine pi over 6 plus y sine pi over 6, and I got to square that, and I got to divide it by 25, plus, and then I go back and I look again, and it's negative x sine theta, negative x times sine pi over 6 plus y cosine pi over 6, and I'm going to square that. I'm going to divide it by 4. I'm going to set that equal to 1. and there's my ellipse that has been rotated by 30 degrees, counterclockwise by 30 degrees. Okay, all fine and good. So now what I want to do is I want a new thing, and I want foci at, let's do 1, 2 and 5, 5, it's 4, and let's make that 9, doesn't really matter. Let's make it 6. So 4, 8. Good. Okay, so let's sort of graph that out. One, 2. Copy that. Paste it. 5, 8. And so then I graph that out. And I've got, there's my 2 points. So those are my foci. So then, before I can actually get going on an ellipse, the other thing that I need is and the sum of the distances to the ellipse is some value. Well, let's figure out what that distance is there. That's that distance there is 4 squared is 16, and 6 squared is 36. 16 plus 36 is 52. So it's got to be at least more than 7. So let's make it 10. Okay, and the sum of the distances to the ellipse is 10. Okay. So now what I need is I need a center. So my center is found using the midpoint formula. And so that's going to be 1 plus 5 divided by 2, comma 2 plus 8 divided by 2. So my center is going to be 3, 5. Okay. Three, 5. Okay. Focus, focus, center. Now, the sum of the distances is 10. So, if the sum of the distances is 10, then A is equal to 5. And the distance between the foci is, what did I say it was again? It was the square root of 52 is 52 to the 0.5. Square root of 52. So that, okay, so then that is C. So if I divide that by 2, I can pull that out. Okay, that means that C is equal to 13 to the 0.5, square root of 13. So I'm going to let you think about that one. This is an advanced video, remember. So the distance between the foci is the square root of 52. So the distance from the center to the foci, that's c, so that's going to be half of the square root of 52, which is going to be the square root of 52 divided by 4. 52 divided by 4 is going to be 13, so it's the square root of 13. Okay, now b is equal to, well, b squared is equal to a squared minus c squared. So b is equal to, well, it's going to be a, so it's going to be 25 minus 13. So it's going to the 0.5. So it's going to be 12, square root of 12. So it's going to be 2 root 3. 2 root 3. Okay. So now I'm going to have a new, so now I'm ready to do my ellipse here. So I do x squared. Well, hang on, my center, what's my center? X minus 3 squared divided by the square root of 12 squared, so that's going to be 12. So I'm sorry, my b is, my a is 5, so that's 25. Plus y minus 5 squared divided by, that's going to be the square root of 12 squared, is equal to 1. Okay, now I've got my ellipse and it's centered, but it's not rotated. Okay, so now I have to think about what is the line that connects. So next question is, what is the line that connects the foci? Well, my m is equal to, it's going to be 8 minus 2 divided by 5 minus 1. So my m is going to be 6/4, which is going to be equal to 3/2. Okay, now that slope, that means that tan, let's pull my this back here, tan theta, oh, it doesn't let me do that in there. I'm just going to do q for theta, equals 3/2. So q, or theta, equals 8 tan 3/2. So 8 tan of 3/2 is equal to 0.982794. Okay, so now what I need to do is everywhere where I see an x, but this is a little bit crazy, everywhere I see an x plus 3, well, let's just take this in 2 steps here. Okay, I'm going to just do this one. Okay, let's clean this out for a second here. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to rotate it. And so I'm going to rotate it by saying okay, I'm going to rotate this by saying that everywhere I see an x, I got to do x cosine of that. So I'm going to do x cosine of a tan 3/2 plus y, or is it minus y plus y sine a tan 3/2, and that's going to be squared, and that's all going to be over 25 plus x minus x sine a tan 3/2 plus y times cosine a tan 3/2, all of that squared, divided by 12 is equal to 1. So there you see, I've got it rotated the correct way. Now all I got to do is shift it. So everywhere I see an x, I'm going to replace that x by an x minus 3. And anywhere I see a y minus 5, or anywhere I see a y, I'm going to replace by y minus 5. And there you go. So that is the shifted, so that is the ellipse that has a focus of 1, 2 and another focus of 5, 8. Okay, sorry about that. Kind of lost it. Not quite sure where I am. Okay. Something weird happened with the program and I lost it, but that's all okay.